When you come to court seeking justice, you better have clean hands.
This is case number 546 on the calendar in the matter of Brown versus Pritchard. Has been sworn in. You may be seated.
This is your daughter?
Yes.
How old are you?
13.
You, Mrs. Pritchard, have no first-hand knowledge of the facts surrounding this case, only what your daughter told you. Is that right?
This is true. Yes.
Look, why don't you have a seat? Mr. Brown, it's your complaint that this young lady filed a false police report about you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And as a result of that false police report, you spent a day in jail. You had to hire a lawyer. You had to come up with some bail.
Yes.
Well, let's start with how you know each other. Who wants to tell me how you know each other? Nobody. So let's start with you, Mr. Brown. Why don't you tell me how you know this 13-year-old girl?
I had a neighbor that lived next door to me, and she would come over there with her friends and ask.
This young lady would come over to your neighbor's house.
Yes, Your Honor.
With her friends. Is
Yes.
that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Who was this neighbor of yours?
His name was Jimmy.
You know Jimmy?
Yes, Your Honor.
How far does Jimmy live from where you were living?
About a block away.
And you would go over to Jimmy's house? How old is Jimmy?
22.
He was a friend of yours?
Kinda. I didn't really know him.
Well, what would you go over to his house for?
We just went over there, and like me and my friends, we would go over there and talk to him until later on when he started buying alcohol, and we would go.
Keep your voice up. All right, so you would go over and talk to him for a while, and then later on he would buy alcohol?
Yes.
What would he do with the alcohol?
He would give it to us, and we would either sometimes drink it with him, or we would leave and go drink it somewhere else.
Who would you go over to Jimmy's house with?
Just me and like 3 other friends.
Well, what are their names?
Like
Not like. I want to hear their names.
Jasmine, Brittany.
Jasmine. How old is Jasmine?
14.
Who else?
Brittany, and she's 15. Jessica, who's 13. That's pretty much.
All right, so you and your 3 friends would go over to this 22-year-old boy, man,
Yeah.
person's house, and after chatting, he would buy you alcohol, which you would either consume there or you would take elsewhere. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
What happened to Jimmy?
He moved out.
I'm still not hearing how you know. Your name is Kaylee?
Yes.
Kaylee.
After he moved out, she would come over then, because Jimmy was my friend. So after he moved out, her and her friends would ask me to buy him alcohol. So I did on occasions twice.
So that this young lady who's 13 years old and her 14, 15, and 13-year-old friend came over and said, well, Jimmy's not here anymore, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Huh?
Yes.
So would you buy us alcohol? Who asked him to buy you alcohol?
All of us did.
Did you pay him for it?
No, we didn't.
You didn't pay him for it with money?
No.
Did you pay him for it with anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown, why did you buy these children alcohol, sir?
Well, I knew they weren't 21, but I also knew that they said that they were older than what they were. You know, she said that she was 16 and
Well, they certainly weren't old enough to